All right, I think it is on. I've got a couple people in the chat already, ready for some games tonight. So good evening or good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. For me, it's good evening, 10:23 at night. And similar to last week, when I did the first three matches of the RTS League, Season 30, Week 1, I've got the other three. There should be, provided everybody plays their games, 6 matches every week. And I did the first three, and now I'll do the remaining three of the first week. So as the season progresses, and I'm going into these streams, I'll start loading up some of the hold on, I got my stream in the background. I'll start going over the standings and stuff before I start. But because nobody's played any games yet of these clans, what's the point of looking at the standings, you know? So we will launch my game here, and I will try not to forget to change over to my little streaming screen here. And we've got, yeah, 3 matches tonight. The first is ONU versus TM. The second will be ATB versus UCA. And then the third, which should be, I think, a doozy, will be SOEE, which is a bunch of extended edition players against JSS. And there's going to be, I think, some good games in those. So every series is just 2 games. Theoretically, the clans could split 1-1. Or what would be awesome for one of the 2 clans is to win both. I do know that the first 2 matches I've got tonight are 2v2s. Typically RTS League is 3v3, but some of the clans had a little bit of scheduling issues and problems getting players to come. So in those cases, 2v2s are allowed. So ONU versus TMA, I do believe, and ATB versus UCA are both 2v2s. So we'll start off the night with 4 2v2s, and then SOEE versus JS should be 2 really solid, exciting 3v3s. And unfortunately, for those of you who maybe might have to go to bed, I'm saving the best for last, because that's how it always is. Think of this as like like a WWF match. You kind of got the warm-ups to start off the night, and then the main event at the end of the night. So if you guys got any money, feel free to start laying down some bets on the last match. Anyway, before it gets too late. Oh, also, as the title says, last stream before vacation. So after tonight, I'll be gone for about 10, 11 days or so. So you guys that rely on me for your late night streams will be missing me for a while, for about 11 days. But we will go in and get our games going. So last stream for about 2 weeks, and then we will be back. You from Portugal, Corpus Christi. That's the body of Christ, I do believe, in Latin, correct? I'm not familiar with that holiday. There might be people in maybe United States that do some stuff for it, but not me. Anyway, but for those of you who have a holiday, I hope you have a good holiday coming up. So ONU versus TM. Now each clan does choose a map. I'm not sure in these matches which clans are choosing which maps. And we'll go into our first game. Dang it! Why is the recording invalid? Good start. So the rec is invalid. I wonder why that is. I'll have to find that out. So we might have to stop after this. I'll do the other game next. 2 out of 10 start. Yeah, so we will try the other. Yeah, usually I usually don't look ahead and make sure. Let's try game 2. Okay, so game 2 works. I'll have to find out what's going on with game 1. So game 2, or we'll call it game 1, is Medit. I'll make sure everything's working for you guys. Is it a black screen? I'm trying to see. It looks like it's a black screen. Hold on. Let's fix this. Sometimes I have to go through all of my scenes here before it actually works, which is weird. Yes, there it goes. OBS is a strange beast sometimes. Here we go. It's not a good stream without technical difficulties, and here we are. So game 1 is Medit. And we are looking at our ONU players on the bottom. And we've got Pisk in green, and he is Zeus. And then we've got Brutos as our teal, and he is Uranus. And strangely enough, on our top, or maybe not strange at all, is kind of a mirror matchup where we've got this is blue is Trueloke, and he is Zeus, and Samu Scream is Uranus. So we've got Zeus versus Uranus, and they've actually spawned together. So the Zeuses are up against the Zeus, and the Uranus are up against the Uranus. Now, Trueloke, he's a pretty solid player. Mr. Samu Scream, maybe not quite so much, but it's been a while since I've seen him play, so maybe he's improved since the last time I've watched him. On the other side, we've got Pisk and Brutos. Pisk is a very old player, probably played for Age of Mythology for as long as I have, which is like 15 years. In fact, I've got RTS League games against Pisk back in like 2004, 2005. I still have the recorded games saved on my computer. And Brutos, I don't recognize this ONU. I don't know if maybe it's just an alter name for a different ONU player, and it's just a different nick. So I don't really know who Brutos is, if he's good, bad, or otherwise. Pisk is pretty solid. Mainly plays just team games. I don't think he plays any 1v1s these days. And Brutos, I don't know. I guess we'll find out how good he is as we watch the recorded game here and see what's going on with it. Okay, so we've got a couple pigs being found, nothing unusual. Medit, as always, is all about the early water fight, and when you've got especially in a 2v2, 2v2s play a lot differently than 3v3s. 3v3s outside of Medit tend to be a little bit more defensive. 2v2s are usually really aggressive, and of course Medit is going to be aggressive anyway because of the heavy water fights. But just even overall, though, with the map being slightly smaller than a 3v3, it's usually a little more fast-paced, and it really teamwork comes into play here. If one team has some good doubles on water, they'll really get the advantage, whereas if maybe TM plays it as like 2 1v1s, if the team on the bottom will kind of work together, that can really help them out a lot. Because when you play like random Voobly or random extended edition 2v2s or 3v3s, there's really not a whole lot of teamwork. It's just kind of, especially in 2v2s, kind of tends to just go into 2 1v1s on half of the map. But usually in RTS League we see a lot better teamwork. So teamwork is key in these games, and we will see how they go. TM historically in their older RTS League seasons has kind of displayed some pretty poor team play. In the past they've had like decent individual players, but all of them put together has kind of been a train wreck typically. So we'll see how Trueloke and Samus play together. We'll probably see about 4-minute to 4:30 advances for these players, though Brutos is a little bit slower, going all the way up at about 4:45. Samu, yeah, he's already going to be up at 4 minutes, so he's up a minute almost faster, which the 4:45 advance is probably too slow. I would be interested in seeing what Pisk is up at. So he's up about 4:45 as well, and Trueloke will be up a little bit faster, 4:30, and those are pretty significant differences in time, and really TM should be able to take advantage and get some water aggression early, though the attacking of the dock is, I don't know, it seems to me be a little bit pointless. Almost be better to try to do some villager harass, which, I mean, you'd be able to at least get these idle or a while, but I mean, you're just never going to kill the dock with 3 oracles and then eventually a Prometheon, so these guys kind of pointless, really. Get a little more value out of him trying to find a villager to attack. Like if he was Kronos and had a forward temple, it'd be different. But we do see that TM initially has the advantage, but now it's falling back. But I mean, he forced idle villager, or not idle villagers, but idle fishing ships. So that's helpful. But yeah, already we see the kind of the pointless oracle attack, where it's great that he did that. But really, what's the point in half damaging a dock and then losing the rest of his units? And strangely, he's already actually at 5 minutes now. He is behind in fishing count. He's actually got 4 ships to Brutos' 5. So now we'll see a little bit of the warboat dancing and see what goes on. And so far, Samu Scream has kind of taken the back end of that. And meanwhile, on the other end, looks like maybe kind of even so far. But for some reason, yeah, Samu is kind of behind on water production. And there's a shockwave. I think we'll probably see another one. Yep, another one follows, and just kind of ends in again another winning battle for Brutos, who, yeah, I don't know why Samus only initially made those 2 ships. I don't know if he had some idle dock that we didn't notice, but kind of getting to be a bit of a bad situation over here. But we do have a True Loke coming over to help out, and Pisk is responding a little bit slower, but man, Samus kind of losing more hit points, and True Loke losing hit points on his boat. So like so far, really, you could just see boat management early takes really important, where both True Loke and Samus are losing boats and getting hit points down without really doing any damage. Like right here, Samus just goes forward and then goes back, losing boats, and he is really on the losing end of these boat battles very quickly. I think we might need to see True Loke do a resto pretty quick here, but then Pisk has one too, so yeah, 3 docks, but not producing out of the 3 docks, I don't think. I guess he is. He does have 3 docks compared to just 2 for Brutos, but we'll see if we'll be able to continue. And again, we see ONU with good teamwork fighting while True Loke was not fighting there. So, and now Samus goes back. We have True Loke fighting. So, yeah, teamwork is big in these games. And right now, TM not really having too good of teamwork. Might see a resto being used soon. Okay, so Pisk uses his first. I mean, if TM can like fight at the same time at some point, it might work out for them. But they're going to have to turn and fight this and use resto here. And we see again True Loke is a little bit behind. There is his restoration. But I think Samus is maybe just too far behind. We saw Pisk go back just a little bit, cancel all of his boat attacks, and this might end up being good for TM now. Yeah, it is. It's an initial victory, but we still have all of Samu Scream's fishing boats are idle right now as well. On land, we don't have. We got 2 Minotaurs running around after each other. So TM does push that back. Stream on vacation? No, I will not be. So this will be my last stream for maybe 10 weeks. No, I do not use any UI. This is the default UI. The only thing that I add in is I do have a Vil counter that I use. But all this UI is, and we got, again, Samu Scream. Not 10 weeks. Did I say 10 weeks? That would be awesome. 10 days. Samu Scream fighting while True Loke is not. Just these guys are on a little bit of a different page right now, whereas ONU has done a lot better. But I just look at Samu Scream's boat management, just not good. Just sailing around in circles, really, and I don't know how many times I can say this. Where like one fights and the other retreats. It just keeps happening over and over. Like overall, as poorly as like TM has actually managed their boats, they're not in a terrible spot. but they just need to like get on the same page for a couple boat battles and maybe end up being victorious. Right now, Piss kind of got some bad boat management too, and yeah, now he's getting pushed back as well. So TM somehow winning a few fights here. Samus has 17 boats and Brutos has 24, so it actually has a ton more, but I think Pisk has not as many as Truloak. And again, we see now a little bit of a fight. So this is a 2v2 because of some scheduling difficulties. TM wasn't able, they were having some issues getting the matches played. And in those cases, we will see a 2v2 typically being played instead of a 3v3, which is allowed. Default is 3v3, but if clans are having difficulty scheduling, it's better to have a 2v2 than not play at all. And come on, we have to fight here, and we did have a town center. Okay, so Brutos has a second town center and grabbing a third right now as well. Whereas Samu's Scream is still just on one town center. So at this point, bolt used on Jason. TM have to win water now, right away. Otherwise, if the water stays even, this will definitely slide into ONU's favor because they've got the town centers already. Well, at least Brutos does. Yeah, sometimes when you have teams that are on completely different time zones, it's tough getting 3 players for each team to show up. So it happens. But yeah, oh come on, you got to keep going forward, Mr. Samus. Keep going forward here. Like, yeah, they need to push back and get him off of water so that he can't maintain the 3-town center boom. And a nice shockwave. I think, though, probably Brutos has one as well. But, no, Brutos actually doesn't. Okay, now he does. And now Pisk actually has quite a few boats, whereas Brutos does not. And that's because Brutos got his town centers. And this is starting to even up here with Truloak falling behind on boat production, and Pisk is keeping up. So while Brutos has no boats, Pisk is probably going to be able to take this 2-on-1 now. And that will give Brutos enough time to get his land boom going. And we even have boats. These boats are shooting at a dock. And yeah, Pisk is, well, retreating. I'm kind of surprised he's retreating this. This is actually a winning fight for him. But they are able to defend, and so that there was really probably TM's moment to potentially win the water, which was right after Brutos got his town centers. Because they did not win the water then, they will probably never win the water, and now with them, at least Samus is behind Brutos, who has the 3 town centers. It will eventually, with Brutos getting a faster eco, it's going to be hard for Samus to keep up. I mean, he's not even close to even building a town center. I mean, look at his eco, though. What has he got? 1,100 wood to 100 gold, and that's kind of a, you know, if he kind of appropriates this a little bit better, he already has a town center built, but now he's just now grabbing it. Oh, Brutos already has 3 hero merms as well. And Samus doesn't have any military at all. And we did see that Pisk went up heroic, whereas Truloak is opting to instead do some land harass with a town center. So we'll see how that works. Pisk, though, score-wise is way ahead. Probably has quite a few more villagers, maybe, or something. I'm not really sure. Might be just be the kill-loss ratio. And yeah, now we see Samus is getting pushed off of water. We also have him mining on a forward gold mine, and that's probably not going to last very long. And then the only gold mine they actually have that is back is this one, which Truloak is already using. So might have some issues with gold pretty quick here. And we see Brutos pushing. Does he have that scouted? Well, he certainly does now. And I think this is Samus's first military building here, and that's not gonna go well. It'll go up. No, we got one here, but he's gonna, there's no way. Yeah, he's getting pushed off gold, and he's gonna have to walk all the way here, which is just gonna put him behind even more so. And we see he's getting pushed off water, whereas Truloak is kind of straight up against Pisk. but his buddy over here is kind of getting walloped. The UI is just normal. By the way, this going back to somebody who asked in the chat. All this is holding control and putting up and down on the arrow keys. So this is the normal UI that comes with the game. Hold control and hit down, and this also comes with the game. It just pretty much gets rid of the bottom bar and the top bar. I didn't actually realize that option existed until like 2 years ago. And I never usually... No, the normal UI does not, though, have the gather numbers. That is a villager count mod that I got because I had a few viewers asking if I could get it downloaded. So I downloaded it for my viewers. Aren't I so special? Or aren't you guys special, I guess? Unmodded game. Yeah, so we see Piska's got is building a few siege ships here, but really not necessary. Really, I mean, they're winning water pretty handily, and we do have Brutos is aged up already, and Samu's just not even close, only at 2 town centers. We see he's a full 1,000 points behind his guy. Pisk and Trueloke are actually pretty even overall now. Trueloke caught up quite a bit in resources, score, but now he's getting pushed off water because his teammate is pushed off of water, and his teammate is way behind. And Brutos is grabbing a forward town center, and once one Atlantean falls behind another Atlantean, and this significantly, there's like no way to really come back. He just won't have any way to defend, and really as soon as this gold mine runs out, there's 2,300 left. I mean, then they have to go all the way back over here for the next gold mine. Trueloke could really actually beat this army with just pure Toxotes, or even a few Hippocon, which he doesn't have even a stable yet. But I wouldn't say that Hippaspis are really the best unit to go with here. It's not like really Trueloke would be making a ton of hoplites anyway. We do have the underworld used to combine the 2 bases, and now that's nice, pretty decent underworld, and that will be the end of the game. And yeah, with Samus just so far behind, it's there's just nothing that he will be able to do here. So that is game 1, and ended up being a pretty easy ONU victory. It's probably, yeah, I mean, both of ONUs were ahead in kill loss. Brutus was a little bit even, but Pisk did really good job, and Samu Scream, who really had some not so good boat management. As we watched, he was clearly behind, and that's kind of the difference when you look at all of the additional boats that Samu Scream lost. That's why Brutos was able to get all these town centers, whereas Samu Scream was staying just at 1 for so long, plus the fact that I know Samus was spamming from 3 boats, and Brutos was pretty much keeping up with just 2. So that is game 1, and I might have to figure out why game 2 initially did not load up. I wonder if it was maybe a different... I don't know. I'll have to look and see. So I am just going to put you guys real quick. I don't know if this is the guy that was in chat as well. But I will answer him. And give me just a minute. I will put you guys on just my little RTS League overlay, and I will see real quick what's going on with this other game here. It's acting like I don't have the map. I wonder what map they played on. I'll have to look and see. If I don't have the map, I wonder if they played on a map that's not in the... So give me just a minute here, and I will try to see what happened with this. Oh, they did. They played on a different savanna. That's weird. I didn't cast the series yet. What are you talking about? So I actually don't think I'll be able to stream this game because for some reason that game was played on the wrong Savannah map. And I don't know which map it was. No, I did not stream them. You probably watched them live. So the map they played on was a Savannah map, but it was not the Savannah that's in the patch. So I don't know what Savannah they played, and I can't download the map from the recorded game. So I'm not really sure which map they played. There's no way I can get it except from Pisk or Brunos, and I don't see them on. So yeah, there are two Savannahs because one is classic and one is original. But they didn't play on either of those. They played on one that's entitled Savannah with an R at the end. And I don't, that's not, well, I don't want to be accusing anyone, but if they played with a custom Savannah map, that almost makes me wonder what's different about that Savannah map. So unfortunately, we're going to have to just stop this series at 1-0 because I don't have that map. So very interesting. And I'm going to have to see because there are ways that you can edit maps to change things to give yourself an advantage, which I think it was probably just a mistake and maybe somebody had a custom Savannah map and didn't realize it. But I don't know. So that is, I guess we will just kind of be done with ONU versus TMA and move on with a 1-0 victory for ONU and move on to ATB versus UCA. So that chops one game from our list tonight, which does make us get to the spotlight event, the SOEE versus JSS, a little bit sooner than intended. So I guess we will get back to casting and we will go to ATB versus UCA. So UCA, that is the clan that won the most recent hybrid cup. And they're probably top one or maybe top two favorite to win RTS League. Now, ATB is got some decent players. I think they kind of tend to play extended edition. They've been around though for a while and played on Voobly before, and they're pretty decent. I believe one of the players is Kai that was playing in this game, Kai Berry, or he might be using some different Berry nick, but he's pretty good. So I would say UCA has the advantage coming into this. They just got a slate full of good teams or good players, but ATB's got some good players too. So we will see if ATB can surprise. So hopefully we don't have any map issues here, and just let me know. I think everything should be good to go, and we will just move on to our next series. And so this is RTS League, Mr. Versen Getorix 5. This is RTS League, which is a clan tournament, and I'm going to have these games going on for you for probably 2 months, except when I'm on vacation for a week and a half. Now, these are team games, typically 3v3, but I know we've got a few 2v2s just because of some scheduling issues. So we are going to go into what I will call game one between UCA and ATB. So UCA, this is a bunch of letters to say, geez. UCA is on the right, and we have Matrius, who is a really good Poseidon player, and he is red. And we have Harrow, who typically plays Loki, but he is Ra on this map, and he is blue. And then over on our left hand is Mr. Boat of the ATB team, and he is Odin. And the other one, Razzleberry, which I do believe is Kyberry, he is Ra. So we've got a Ra Odin versus a Ra Poseidon. Very interesting. I'd say, I mean, obviously the Ra is kind of cancel out, but I think Odin versus Poseidon it's an interesting match because Odin can go pure Ulfsarks, which kind of counters the Poseidon pure Hippocon. So I'd actually say that matchup wise, probably slightly favors ATB. But the problem is we don't want it's very easy for Egyptian, especially Ra, to kind of abuse Odin. So Razzleberry will have to assist his buddy down here and prevent him from getting absolutely smashed by the Ra player. One thing to always look at and Ghost Lake is what is the hunt looking like, and we've got a boar and a boar. So we've got one boar plus one boar. This is actually two different boar spawns here. It's a 1 and 1. So this is actually, the starting hunt is low. They can be as many as 3 boar. So theoretically there could be, well, 3 boar per spawn. So it could be 6 boar for starting, and instead there's only 2. And then the hunt, it's a nice amount of hunt, but again, I'm only seeing 1 pack per player. Nope, I'm wrong. There are 2 packs of hunt for players. So yeah, this forward hunt is actually pretty heavy. The one bad thing for Mr. Boat though is that this is one of his packs here, and it looks like Kai is maybe going to it, or maybe not. He put a granary foundation here. Yes, they can use Titans. This is typical, straight up Age of Mythology, the Titans. So Kai is actually going to switch to goats. I wonder if he got hunting dogs. He did not. So I like this, actually. No, most tournaments do allow it. I do like this. I think Mr. Boat will probably go up here next. But, oh, I guess he's going down here. It's a long way to walk, and he should be splitting up his units here. With the Oxguard is slower than villagers, so the Oxguard is slowing his villies down. But I like what Kai did here, or Razzle, is that he did not get hunting dogs, and I feel like that is the better thing to do here, especially because he wants to have his Odin ally have all of the hunt. And that's what he's doing. So the Odin will hopefully eventually be able to move over and get this hunt as well, and this hunt. But I don't like the path that he went. And he had knowledge. He should have gone from here to this boar to this hunt and then up to here. This was a lot of walking distance, and he went down here, and I don't think he'll be able to ever get this hunt, which technically is Harrow's. But he does have berries, but berries are so much slower. So maybe a little bit of poor pathing, just as far as units. But, it probably won't be the end of the world. It looks like Harrow did get hunting dogs. So we actually have a difference in style or play style here, is that Kai only got husbandry and never got hunting dogs, whereas Harrow got hunting dogs. And yeah, okay, he did fix his ox cart. I like the husbandry without hunting dogs on this map. And actually, most maps, if you're going to do your 2-town center, Ptah, fast, heroic, it's generally faster and more efficient. That's not necessarily the same thing, but generally faster to stay husbandry if you have enough goats. And that's what he's doing. But what I don't like, though, now is Kai is making he made at least one archaic farm. And I don't know if that means he's going up with Bast. But that's not I never liked the Bast strategy, making farms early. I think it's quite a bit less efficient than going up with Ptah. If you're going to use Bast, you should do it when you're in. Oh, so he started Ptah and then went Bast. If you're going to do Bast, you should be hunting. So, I don't know. It kind of doesn't work well. But Harrow is going up Ptah, which is more standard, and he's going to be grabbing this town center. What this tells me, though, is that Kai is not going to be grabbing a town center before he ages up. He's going to do a one town center fast heroic. We have the initial centaur coming up, and Matrius is used up this hunt. Will he be brave and go here, or will he be a little more defensive and come down here? Looks like he is being brave and going forward, which Kai could potentially punish this with his Sphinx. But Matrius just needs to get a hero, which, where is his hero? Does he have one? Ah, here he is. What relic did he get? So he got the Ship of Fingernails, and I know Harrow had one too. He got, oh, increases villager hit points. Oh, that is a solid relic, especially for Ra, where you get your Skin of the Rhino tech to make him stronger anyway. And Mr. Boat is making a couple of racks. The question is, will he go Ulfsark or Raiding Cavalry? And so far he's going neither. Is he housed or what? So we have the first rain. Kai has rain with husbandry. He is up. He needs to get plow ASAP, which he's getting. And that is ahead of, well, not really. Like this, even the rain was too slow. Like if you're going to be doing your Bast rain and you're playing an enemy Ra, you want to get your rain in before the Ra can make his farms. And Harrow has most of his farms up, and he's going to be able to take advantage of the rain. But this can be punished here. You got the heroes out of position right now, and we will see how fast. Okay, now he is responding. But the Sphinx might be able to pick off for a vill or two before the slow hero gets there. One more shot will get him. Oh, he canceled the attack and is running. Did get a lot of damage in on the Hippocon though. One dead, one almost dead, and one half HP, and then a couple others injured. I would like to see, yeah, I'd like to see Mr. Boat come up here. They can really punish this with a double. That is the downside of being a Ra ally, is that you tend to get picked on early on, and that's what you have to do. If you are going to ignore the Ra, you need to put in a ton of work on his ally. So here come the Sphinx, while the military units will attack the hero, and Matrius is in a bit of trouble here. And to me, he should never have been on this forward hunt. When you've got a Ra that you know is going to be doing 2 town center, you know you're going to be left alone for a while. Needs to be careful with this Sphinx and run him, which he's path blocked and will die. And got another Sphinx caught in the middle of these Hippocon, and he is going to lose 2 Sphinx. That is nothing. So actually, Matrius didn't lose many vills, and this ended up being a pretty good fight for him. Losing the 2 Sphinx like that is just ATB stayed in this a little bit too long. Matrius did a really good job. He kept the Hippolyta on the Sphinx and got the Sphinx trapped so that they couldn't get out. So Razzle is up at 8:30, which actually isn't very fast, though Harrow was kind of slow, because you should be able to do an 8:30 2 town center Ptah. And Razzle is up 8:30 with just 1 town center. So as the game goes on, this will be in UCA's favor, just as long as Matrius doesn't get massacred. And we have I don't know why he has this Herseer mixed in with his units. I mean, geez, they like walking in slow motion coming across the ice. And they don't have iron. Not good scouting. So they actually don't know about this hunt here. There's hunt right here, very forward. We will see if Mr. Boat will find it. But he'll win this with the medium Ulfsarks, and now the Valk, he can win this. But he should kind of think something's up here, and yeah, not chase these Hippocon. because it'd be too many units to chase after the Hippocon for no reason. So he needs to find where these units are, and he is sending his Herseer back. I think probably to defend for a Petsuchos drop somewhere. But we'll see. And how Matrius, while I was looking up here, did move his Vils back. So Matrius has been pushed off of Hunt everywhere and is now happily in his base, but still has a few caribou lying around. And Razzle is going to have to really, they need to push pretty quick to take advantage, because otherwise the 2-town center Ra will eventually outdo the 1-town center Ra. And we have the the Iraq coming over and looking for stuff to attack with the, I assume the crocodile is in there. The rock with the croc. They do have a ceasefire, forest fire, eclipse, and shifting sand still on the menu. And Aphrodite is up. That's a pretty quick age up. And what is he going to do? Will he... Oh, just out of line of sight. Those units were... he will find these in the back. This is... Matrius is in a bit of a precarious situation. I don't know if the fast... Is it... Did I TM versus UCA? I don't have TM versus UCA, do I? It's ATB, yeah. We have... Okay, so we have... Locust was used down here by Kai. Curse was used up here. And Forest Fire. So we've got 3... God powers used. This is a nice combo right here. Forest Fire is kind of pushing Vils into here, so... Oh wow, Harrow has not noticed this and has losing quite a few units. But it's amazing how long these Vils are lasting next to the Forest Fire. And Razzle is using Eclipse kind of pointlessly. Unless we have something going on up here that I don't see. But the Eclipse is not going to accomplish much. And the Forest Fire now has reached the maximum amount of damage it can do on Vils. So yeah, these Vils can now happily mine off of, or woodcut off of burning trees and not have any problem. I don't have TM versus UCA. That must be that's a week 2 matchup. I'm not doing that tonight. But there's a lot of God powers used here. I'm surprised Curse was used defensively. They were kind of winning the fight anyway. And the problem Razzle has is that he does not have any siege. And without siege, there's really this aggression kind of doesn't accomplish a whole lot. And he's going to be... the Eclipse was kind of used pointlessly as well. And we're at the point where Harrow at 3 town centers, that Mr. Boat is going to have a hard time keeping up with Harrow. Razzle and Mr. Boat didn't do good enough damage to Matrius at this point. And this is... You can do some... it's not good enough siege, though. Like, this... The 1-town center Bast... And oh, this is a nice... Ooh... That is a nice locust there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... 7 dwarves. And I also didn't point this out, but the locust used on the Ra, not good either, because Harrow has Skin of the Rhino and also has the plus 26 hit points as well. So you don't want to use locust on this because it won't kill him, and as we saw, it didn't really do a whole lot. And we've got the pure camel raid to try to push Matrius off, but Razzle is going to have to help his buddy pretty quick here. We'll see. Okay, this is Nyan Racing. Oh, hello. If you know any results, just try to keep it out of the chat. Just remember, we like to keep these spoiler-free, and while I was not looking, and probably Kai wasn't looking either, he lost 3 Sphinx to this trio of heroes. And that's not good. And we can see the difference in score between Razzle's now 2 town center to Harrow's 3. And Harrow is going to push through Mr. Boat so much faster than Kai or Razzle will push through Matri, especially because Kai doesn't have any siege at all. So, I mean, this can just stalemate, and that's a win because economically, Harrow is so much further ahead than his opponent, and then against the other Ra. And as soon as these siege towers come up against the town center, along with, it looks like the Hippocon are going to show up as well. Well, they're falling back. We'll actually probably see a Frost getting forced soon. I mean, Mr. Boat is, I don't know if he's trying to do, I mean, he has no army. I don't know if he's like trying to do some sort of like semi-reg or something or what, but the army is non-existent. The eco is kind of non-existent. And we've kind of got maybe dueling raids here. We've got the camels coming into the back here, and we've got the Hippocon plus the lion coming over here. We got these two frost giants playing defense. And the raid on these Ra Vills with the skin of the rhino and the relic just isn't going to do a whole lot. The N-word Nord. They did kill like 2 Vills, maybe. Well, 3. And that's it. And now here come this army actually will do pretty well against the camels. And then we have 1 tower with crenellations. So if Kai tries to sit on this gold mine here, he is going to get not in a good, it's not going to end up well for him. And actually Matrius just runs anyway. And we have Harrow is up. Horus already. That's the 2 town center. Boom. Into the 3. Into the 4. And Frost, well, won't be quite be needed yet. We've only got 3 siege workshops. And now we have Tornado, which should kill the town center and the hill fort. Any building upgrades? No. And the barracks as well. And that is that on the town center. Kai getting another raid in, but here's the problem when you're doing raids on a opponent with 4 town centers. The raids kind of don't matter a whole lot. A lot of Hippocon lost here to these Petsuchos while I wasn't looking. Oh, got the chariots back here though. They're just pegging off Vills. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we might have to use Frost up here pretty soon. This 1 Frost Giant, though, will clean all of that up. And we've got the raid here. And Razzle is in a good position. Okay, so now there is the Frost, so we can get his town center back. But the Vills, we got the Vills coming in to take out these last 2 chariots. They had enough of getting shot at, and they are having their revenge. This is W-picked. You mean epic? You'll follow when something. Well, I can't wait to know when. Kai just needs, no, I'm sorry, no N-words. So I guess you won't ever follow, unless you went Nord. But just the no siege, just all of this land, all of this map control that Kai has, just is kind of pointless. And oh, we're gonna see an earthquake over here too. Oh my goodness! Oh man. Well, there was kind of a base here, and now there is kind of not a base. Poor Mr. Boat. First he has a tornado, then he has a earthquake, and now he has a shifting sands on his back town center. And things are not looking good for poor Mr. Boat. And Kai is just kind of up here just dancing around. And Mr. Boat has been promptly put down to 0 town centers. And Matrius is using ceasefire. And Oh, during that ceasefire, Harrow is taking both town centers that belong to Mr. Boat. So, Mr. Boat got royally screwed. Man. Basically, UCA just completely ignored Razzleberry and just absolutely thwacked Mr. Boat. And poor Mr. Boat. So we have Razzleberry has resigned, and now Mr. Boat has resigned, and Miller Campos says Brazil, GG. So well played. But really, the difference in this game here just comes down to the strategy. I don't like the Bast one town center fast heroic in team games. I don't like it at all. I think it is inferior to the two town center Ptah, and I think it's inferior in a team game almost every time. And like if we compare resources, I mean just compare the two Egyptians. And by the time you're getting to 850, I mean, it's just a 30-second slower heroic. But already you can see just the substantial difference that comes in from having that second town center earlier. And unless you can get the very early aggression with the one town center Egyptian Ptah, or not Ptah, Ra fast heroic. If you can't get that early aggression, it's not good. And in team games, it's just so hard to get that early aggression. So that is game one, and that went over to UCA. And Harrow, usually the Loki player, had some decent Ra there, though I will admit, Ra in team games isn't necessarily hard to be competent with. It's actually harder to be the Ra teammate because usually you're just going to get doubled. But anyway, that is game one of this series, and now we will move on to game two, ATB versus UCA, and on Tundra. All right. So I saw that we had some different god choices here. And we have our UCA players on the bottom of the map. And we have Harrow has changed from Ra to Aranos. And we have I Kill You Die, a completely new player, is replacing Matrius, and he is Zeus. So Zeus, Aranos, and then on the top, double Norse. Yeah, Mr. Boat again, he's Odin. And then on the other side is Razzleberry. He is Thor. So Thor Odin versus Aranos Zeus. Interesting matchup. One I don't really have a whole lot of experience with. I'm never really been much of a Norse player, as those of you who watch me play can confirm. So I'm kind of interested to see how this will go. Really, with this high hunt map, the Norse kind of have a lot of different choices at their disposal as far as what they want to do. I mean, they could go like for a one town center, kind of our classical age push into kind of a quick age 3, or they could try to do an early classical push followed into a kind of a two town center boom. But typically the Norse aren't really boomy. So we might see one of the Norse try to do like a kind of a semi-fast heroic with some early classical age aggression. Or we could even see Razzleberry, depending on how the game goes, maybe trying to do an early town center and then doing like a two town center kind of semi-fast rag. But against Zeus or Ranos, that's a little bit risky because of the kind of early counter pressure they can put on. Ranos is tough for Norse, and Zeus is pretty tough as well. We do have Great Hunt used on the combination Hunt plus Goats. If you can throw in Goats with your Great Hunt, you always want to do that because you will... Great Hunt kind of, it works on a maximum food increase. I forget what the amount is. Maybe I'll just estimate 800 food. It will increase your your hunt by. But it can also, because these goats are only have like 80 food at the start of the game, and they'll eventually fatten to 300, you get a ton of value out of using Great Hunt on your goats, because they are initially just 80, and they only count towards 80 of that hunting count, but then they'll eventually fatten up to 300. So you are mathematically doing yourself a favor throwing a few goats in with your Great Hunt. And Tundra is one of those maps. I believe it is just a straight up 50-50. You will either get starting goats or starting berries on Tundra. Never both, this one or the other. The Zeus player kind of has a few different choices. Well, two choices, I guess. Does he want to go up with Athena, or does he want to go up with Hermes? I would predict a Hermes here, because he's going to want ceasefire for flaming weapons, and then centaurs can also run circles around non-Forseti Norse, and that is Odin. Does not get Forseti, so he does not get faster Hersier. So we'll probably end up seeing I kill. I need to not call him Matrius. We might see I kill going up Hermes, and based on the fact that he has 2 Vils praying, I think we will see, yes, Hermes up at about 430. Uranus is up about 430. The Thor will be up about 455, and the Odin will be up about 445. So a lot of defensive walls coming up for the Norse. This wall here kind of surprises me. It seems like it would maybe be better to flip and make the wall go this way, because this really doesn't protect anything. Unless he's like walling himself off from his ally, but why would you put the wall here and not from this forest to this forest? I mean, this doesn't. I mean, those centaur can still just run right up the middle here and then just come around the bottom or around the back. The wall is a little peculiar to me, but maybe his ally will betray him. Tusk of the Iron Boar, increases cavalry and chariot archer hit points. That'll be good for the Thor. How many days vacation? I'll be gone for about 10 or 11, and we leave. We're leaving Friday, but I'll be busy tomorrow doing stuff to get ready. We're going to Pennsylvania. It's actually kind of a pseudo vacation. I mean, I'll be off of work vacation, but we're going to see and stay with the in-laws, my wife's parents. So it's not like it's like a cool vacation. I mean, her in-laws really aren't very cool. They're nice, just kind of boring. So Freya. So double Freya. So we do have two flaming weapon, or not flaming weapons, 2 forest fires, which they should use both of them on the Greek. Use one here. Just use it. Just use your forest fire. Just make sure you don't both forest fire the same forest. I think they're waiting for... Yeah, boring. Oh, the bolts on the Valk. We do have a forest fire. Harrow is ready. Will they get line of sight of the other one? No, this Raven is dead and that one is too. It's 12 days without no kernel stream. Hey, listen though. If you go to my YouTube channel, I've got like over 100 videos. Just watch. If you need me, you watch a few old videos, man. They'll be just as good. There's some very old videos on there that... Oh, and now we see the centaurs just running right past this idiotically built wall. I mean, just imagine if it were here. It baffles me. This wall just confused me. ATB. ATB is kind of kind of an older-ish clan. Kind of a strange granary here. He's just building it right next to the old granary. They played maybe 5-6 years ago, and I think they've kind of been playing off and on since. But then they decided to play in this RTS league. But they've been playing, just not like in tournaments or something. 13 years ago? That long? Alright. Oh, the Valk got picked off. They're trying to get forest fire on this other one. So it's kind of embarrassing that they have an Odin with 3 ravens and they are only able to get off 1 forest fire. Because you want to use both right away to just slow down the centaur raids. And here we got the sense, and yeah, he's gonna try to. What does ATB mean? I think Rahakanariwa maybe has some inside information. I don't know what ATB means. I could look it up after, but here come these scents running past this non-wall here. And we have these super slow hearse here. This is Odin's curse is no Forseti. So their hearse here are just painfully slow. 4.2 speed to 6.5. So, I mean, if he's walled this off, you might as well spend the 50 gold and wall this off too. I mean, why not? And then just make these hearse here bother his ally. We do have a few raiding cavalry here, and this is just kind of not a good forest fire. He might... No, he's not going to get this. If he does kill this Vil, yeah, it's not worth anyway. We have the shockwave, and he's going to lose 2, almost 3 raiding cavalry. But yeah, just a low value forest fire here. They would have gotten so much more being able to get it on the other forest for UCA. Mr. I kill you die. Who is at 2 town centers, by the way? That's the advantage that you get as Zeus against 2 Norse who don't go for SETI, is that you can make 3 centaur and keep your opponent defensive. We do have double raiding cavalry meeting up here in the middle, forcing 1 citizen idle. I'll look it up, just wait. Maybe it doesn't even mean anything. And even this wall, I mean, just this wall. I can't look at this part of the map anymore. I'm done with it. This causes me too much heartache. We do have 3 citizens sitting in this manor, though. Oh, no, they're not. Now they're... Okay. I mean, even if they don't kill these citizens, which they probably won't unless... Oh, Harrow is... Oh, he's... Okay, you get the helicopter garrison, though. The one thing citizens can do is, because I don't know if it's tied to how big their obstruction radius is in the game files, but they can like garrison from like, I mean, they were garrisoning from like way back here, but this is a nice raid here, and they will probably end up losing all 3, maybe 2. Oh, forced a ceasefire. I probably would have just let the Vils die. Ceasefire. What this means is that we will have a Thor flaming weapons. Why would I let them die? Because I love the sound of dying Atlantean citizens. But well, I'd let them not die because... I don't know. I feel like ceasefire is worth more than 3 citizens. I mean, not that 3 citizens is anything to scoff at, but losing 3 citizens, and this town center isn't going to get up either, unless these guys suddenly realize or find out like how to really build a town center quickly. This isn't going to get up during ceasefire. I don't know, ceasefire to save 3 citizens. I think flaming weapons would do more damage than 3 citizens. Well, with the double RC here, they should be able to hold this, but he's only got 4 units. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like a 60-40 on this, where 60% I would save ceasefire, but man, these centaur are just doing so much work. The one thing it does, though, is that when you do centaur so heavily like this, you don't get a lot of other units to save your buddy. But so the goal is, as the Zeus here, is to keep both opponents partially defensive so that they can't double your ally. And so far they've done a pretty good job of that. And actually we see Harrow is going almost purely all infantry, and this is a nice fight for him too. And even centaur actually do decent damage to raiding cavalry. So Harrow is actually retreating here, but did decent damage. I'd say, you know, if we're talking one-on-one trades, it's better for Harrow. He can replace units, and we got another big fight here, just on the other side of the map, or on the other side of the screen, and it looks like we will eventually see probably ATB retreating. It's close. The Hippocon, though, just they tank so much. Though we do see the Centaurs are getting plugged away. We get this fat, slow hearse here. At least is chasing him away, but kind of almost an evenish fight. But an even fight that does not favor the Norse, because like Centaur and even Hippocon aren't really that cost heavy, especially Centaur. So if you're like just taking straight battles where both sides are losing their armies, it hurts the Norse. The Norse raiding, when Norse are doing raiding cavalry and a little bit of infantry, that's just more resource intensive than what this army is for the Atlantean. Plus the fact that IKIL has been on 2 town centers for so long. We do have... Oof, man, that would be 2 dead citizens. But didn't know they were there, and that happens sometimes. Didn't scout, but yeah, that would have been 2 dead without having any line of sight there. And now we finally have some throwing axemen getting mixed in. The Cataspeltes do a ton of damage to raiding cavalry, and why these red raiding cavalry are fighting the Cataspeltes, I'm not sure of, but you can see that they are melting. I mean, just looking at the... well, I get the text off the screen. But these raiding cavalry just melted. Very slow age 3s for our Norse players, because they have flaming weapons at their disposal, but if UCA keep up the aggression, the Norse, at least Razzleberry, will never have the army he needs to get value out of a flaming weapons. Nice shockwave to get all of those throwing axemen idle. And I feel like probably double raiding cavalry was a mistake for the Norse. One of them probably should have gone up with Forseti. Well, that would have been the Thor. The Thors probably should have done Forseti. And we have... IKIL is at 3 town centers, and he's also aged up as well. IKIL is just... You can see he's just so far ahead of everybody else. It's just... the amount of damage you can do with Centaur compared to the amount of resources it takes to defend just gives such a heavy advantage to the Norse in this situation. And then we have throwing axemen against Hippocon and Centaur, though just because there's so many throwing axemen is not terrible. But like these masses of throwing axemen should have been maybe sooner or something. But yeah, now we've got Manicore and Centaurs against throwing axemen, and yeah, throwing axemen got a retreat. Then we might actually see IKIL aging up pretty soon as well, because I mean, just the army he's making just doesn't take a ton of resources, and the damage that he's been causing. And we see Razzleberry is getting pushed off of this gold mine, and he's going to have to maybe... There is one in the back, which is being guarded by a lone Terma. But instead it looks like they might end up just sharing this gold mine, which isn't very good, because then it's a ton of pathing issues. And we got another fight here. It's mainly just Mr. Boat. Razzleberry's army is kind of not there. And it's mainly just throwing axemen, and throwing axemen against Prometheon don't do very well, along with the Manticore and Centaurs. So just the early aggression that UCA put up just slowed down the Norse too much, and to the point where now they can't even age up to age 3 at reasonable times. And now they are just making... I don't know what this Manticore is doing, going melee mode, but I mean, you still see it. He's just tanking and tanking and tanking damage, and does die, but just tanks a ton of damage. And Razzle is in a really bad position. He's only got one town center technically. I mean, this one you can't really use much of. It's 2v2 because RTS League does allow 3v3s. Or RTS League is normally 3v3, but 2v2s can be played if both clans agree, and usually that's done when clans are kind of having some scheduling issues. And there was some scheduling issues here where they're having trouble getting full teams, so better to play 2v2 than not at all. And we see iKill is up. Hera as well. And yeah, 16 minutes, and these Norse guys are classical age and not even aging up yet. And now this shared gold mine is done. This gold mine, or this town center, will fall shortly. We have lightning storm to be used somewhere, and we still have underworld. So well played by UCA. But again, I feel like a lot, just kind of like last game, I feel like a lot of ATB's issues this game were just kind of some poor strategical choices. This wall just allowed the centaurs to just run in the back and kind of run amok back here. And then double raiding cavalry. In team games, especially 2v2s, you typically don't want to make both players make the same unit, because then the opponent just needs to make one unit and they counter your entire army. And that's kind of what happened, is that hero ended up just going pure infantry and just was shredding everybody's raiding cavalry. And this town center is getting down. Will I play any games tonight? Probably not. I got a few things I'll have to do around the house yet after I'm done with the streams, because I'm leaving on vacation soon. 2 days. And finally, we have an age up. And we have another age up, and we have lightning storm being used. It's really picking off a ton of dwarves up here. Like, lightning storm is kind of always a little bit underwhelming. It looks cool. It sounds cool. But actually, when you like look afterwards and take a look at the numbers, I mean, it's okay. It can help you like insta win a fight, but I don't know. And yeah, why don't they resign? I guess they just don't want to, I don't know. Some people are like that. They just don't want to concede defeat. I don't know. I probably want to at least reach heroic age so they can at least say they didn't get stuck in classical age. Got all these. All the satire. Eco ups, just the first line, and pretty decent for our UCA boys. Mr. Boat, not too great. And yeah, they can probably resign anytime now, but they're just the dwarves running forward. This is like the pre-Ragnarok. And oh, we have Frost to save the day over here. 1v11 Titan CPUs on Jotunheim. What do they think, that they can do like a Ragnarok and win this, or what? I think that's what Razzle is trying to do. Yeah, going up with Rag. So they're just trying to hope that maybe they can get a 40 Rag and like completely save the day. He's trying to get fortified town center here, but this lone destroyer might kill it before it gets up. I mean, if he had the other destroyers attacking, okay. Oh, this is going to be kind of close. 80%, 83 is down. Oh man, this is not live. This is a recording of the RTS League matches from the weekend. Were I in this tournament? Were you? Or was I? I'm a member of F2, which is in the tournament. But I probably won't ever play. Most games will be played when I'm not around, and I'm also not one of the better or best players in F2. But this is a long tournament. This is part of the group stage where they will play. There's actually 6 weeks to the group stage with playing a clan every week. So yeah, you're just waiting to get their Ragnarok up. So each clan will play a total of 12 matches. 2 games, well, 6 matches, 2 games per match, and then at the end of the season, the 3 teams with the best records will advance to the playoffs. And oh, we're gonna have our reg, which maybe I could hype it and be like, this is gonna turn the game around. This is gonna turn the game around. Watch these stats here; they're just gonna completely melt. Reg Heroes versus Satyr. Well, you could say goodbye to the Satyr. But yeah, I mean, this reg needed to be like 6 minutes ago, which if they play perfectly well, they can reach that. But actually kind of surprised though that Mr. Boat is still like holding on over here. Will I cast all of the games? That is my hope. But I'm not. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, we've got a pretty heavily fortified front forward base here. I mean, the reg will probably kill this forward base, but then that'll be the end of the reg. We have flaming weapons being used, but I mean, I didn't even bother to check. What was this, like a 40-vil reg? And they might not even kill this. And yeah, I don't know why people go Hikate against reg. Uh-oh, watch out. I'm gonna say he could chaos the fire giant. So he will push the forward base. And I did miss the Tartarian gate being used over here. Completely missed it. Well, this is the reg came over to save the day. You could forgive Harrow. He's not used to playing as Oranos, but it is amazing though when you look and see like how strong reg is with flaming weapons, and like has completely demolished this. Like if ATB just wasn't punished so heavily early on, and this reg was like 5 minutes sooner. Look at them just walking right past these citizens. World peace. They could have done a little bit more, but Mr. Boat is dead. He can't get to Mythic. And the troll underworld. And so that will be GG. And that will be a 2-0 victory for UCA. So good to have you guys along with the ride in the chat tonight. We got Sigma showed up, Zebchi showed up, Wife Beater, Vercingetorix, and others as well. The guy with the really long Raha name, and my YouTube guy from Brazil, and others. And Mr. I Go Wonder, aka Nyan. How many days will UCA versus TM? I don't know. I'm not sure. Vacation. So my vacation, I keep having to explain this. I'll be going to Pennsylvania. It's a vacation that I'm off of work, but all we were doing is going to the in-laws for about a week. So it's not exactly like a vacation. I mean, I'll be with the in-laws. I mean, I guess I'm off work, and we'll probably do, a few things. There's, some lake up in the mountain that we usually go to, and spend a day there and stuff. So, it's pretty nice, but overall, it's not like we're going to any sort of cool destination or anything. I'm going to And really, the in-laws don't want to see me. They want to see their daughter and the grandkids. Like I might almost, might as well just stay home. They don't really care. But did Blue carry? Um, when you think vacation, you think Pennsylvania. Yes. I don't know. I don't really know if Blue carried the game. It was kind of a team effort here. I mean, this is standard that the Zeus will balloon heavily based off of the early Centaur, but Harrow played really well too and didn't get himself caught out. The only time he did get himself caught out, he was bailed out by the ceasefire. But I wouldn't really say specifically I carried. Harrow played pretty well as well, but both teams played pretty good. So, well, look, how many vills was that reg anyway? And I'm kind of interested. Oh, I have Razzle turned off. It was a 66 fill reg, so nothing too great. So that is my second series of the night, and we'll move on to the third series. And this is the one I was most looking forward to, and why I have it at the end. And I know these are 3v3, so far we've got just the 2v2s due to kind of some scheduling issues, and now we will switch over to our 3v3. Which is, I don't know why this is a different, anyway. We will move over to SOEE versus JSA. SOEE. So SOEE, who is SOEE? Well, SOEE is a bunch of extended edition players, and some of them are pretty good. And JSS is kind of a bunch of expert staff players and really good players, but they haven't been quite so active as they used to be, so not at their level. I put these two clans, and they're in a division that's really, really close. I think this division that they're in is pretty tight, and while on paper you would think, oh, JSS, they're really good, they'll win. I'm not so sure that's true. I think SOEE got some pretty good players, and I don't think JSS will be at their peak potential. And these are very important games. This is, week one, SOEE versus JSS. This is a great week to kind of see where these two teams will be at. So we will go into it. Have I listened to any more hardcore history? No, because I downloaded a few to listen to on the my drive, which will be about 11 to 12 hours. So he will keep me company unless the wife says no. So SOEE, which is straight out of Extended Edition, versus JSS. So we will go to game number 1, which is also Tundra. You know what? Just so we don't have two Tundras in a row, let's do the other one. So Medit. We will have a Medit, and then we will have a Tundra. So SOEE versus JSS. So on the top is JSS, and we've got Count Von Count, straight out of Sesame Street, and he is Hades. Interesting. And the pocket is Miracle Man. He is Gaia. And the other side, I think this is a Zeus, is Mr. Chef, and he is Zeus. So Zeus, Gaia, and Count Von Count. And on the bottom is our SOEE team. And we've got Sun Tzu, who is, well, you know what? How about I just take a look? Sun Tzu is Zeus. And then we've got Mr. Tuss Revenge, who is aka Cyclone. He is Oranos. And we've also got Supernova, who is Oranos. Now, Cyclone is an old player. He was a top player towards the end of 2005, like right when Age of Empires 3 was getting released. He's always, as far as I know, been in Oranos main. He played Oranos back then. I think he still plays Oranos now. But yeah, he was really good back in the day. He's probably about my age, so he's probably lost a few a few steps in his old age, but probably still pretty solid. Supernova, I don't know who that is. It's probably an AKA for somebody else. So I don't know who this Supernova fellow is. Sun Tzu is also pretty good. I've only ever seen him play Norse, usually Loki and Thor. So I don't know how his Greek is, or what we'll see with that. But probably, I mean, 3 solid players. On the top are JSS players. I'd say on this map, I would assume this is JSS's map. They've always loved Medit. I'd give them the advantage here on Medit. I also like their Civ composition a little bit better. I actually feel like Gaia is better than Uranus on Medit in a team game, because you can get your allies trees, and non-Atlantean gather about 10% faster from Gaia trees than normal trees. And not only that, it also saves from having to build a wood or a lumber camp or storehouse, whatever you want to call it. Though I guess one of them had to build a lumber camp. But actually, the second set of trees should have probably been on the town center, because he's going to want to split up. Chef will want to split up his villagers at some point. So he will, I mean, he'll end up having to make another storehouse anyway, because they can't all be on this one. You mean the inefficiency on count counts? Yeah, it is a little inefficient. What you need to do is actually cast it a little bit away. It takes a little bit to get used to how far out it spawns, but you want it to spawn so that the end of the tree line is like right here, so that they can fit in between the trees in the town center. Because yeah, then this lack of efficiency kind of at this point is eliminating the 10% gather rate that you get from it. Though now he's making another storehouse over here, so he'll be able to kind of swap it up a little bit. But hey, what's up, Mr. Urtries? So let's take a look. What are our age ups? So 20%, so about a 430, about a 415. He's housed. He's about 430, and just slightly slower. And then our 2 Uranus are actually a little bit slower, more towards 445. So Medit, we'll see just the really big team fights. Double Uranus I'm not a huge fan of. Typically the Uranus strength in like Medit is the ability to sail faster than the other enemy ships and double or triple a enemy, but that really doesn't work when you have two players on your team that are Atlantean, because that kind of nixes the speed advantage over one of them. Because I mean, if purple's going to help green, it's not like both of the speed advantage is being used here. So Prometheus, Athena, Oceanus. How about I get all the text off the screen? And Ares. So we do have a pestilence that will be able to be used somewhere. We have Sentinel here because of the oracles being used. We'll probably see, oh, look at these docks just perfectly lined up to well, 1 dock pestilence when he could have done it on 3. Ooh. That's alright. Didn't know. Didn't have scouting yet. Although, wasn't one of them? No, we didn't have a Poseidon. But yeah, that's a pretty poor pestilence there, just to get one dock. So we'll see how it works out for him. Though it does look like Cyclone's kind of way behind in the boat production. And there is a double over here, and then a 1v1 on this side. So Sun Tzu 1v1 versus Chef. And then we got Miracle Man and Count versus Supernova and Cyclone. And I'm kind of surprised right now they're being so defensive. They being JSS, they need to keep pushing the advantage. This is a winning fight for them. Oh, this is where all of Cyclone's boats are. So this is actually pretty good. Just to ignore the pressure down here and get raids on the, at least get all these boats idle. And actually, Supernova is holding up pretty well, but now Cyclone probably needs to fall back. And on this side, it's a bit even. Nothing going on land. Nice, very nice Carnivora. Insta-kill the ship. And now taking a few whacks at the fishing boats. You always try to want to use your Carnivora like forward by the enemy dock, because if you do it in the middle, it's pretty easy just to kind of maneuver your boat so that the Carnivora no longer has any effect. But if it's so far forward, it's going to kind of be annoying here, though the dock can't shoot at it and eventually will put it down. Cyclone mainly just doing some boat harass here, though he does not have any fishing ships currently fishing. And actually Supernova is getting pushed all the way back to his dock as well. He just has 2 docks, and this side is still pretty much a stalemate. Cyclone maybe doing a little bit too much raiding. We do have a resto here. This is a pretty weak resto. Typically in team games on Medit, you want to save your resto so that you can get your ally boats in as well. And now Chef is responding with his own resto, and that is pushing Sun Tzu back. And Cyclone is really getting pushed off. He's focusing really on just doing raids, which is some idleness, but that is, I mean, at the same time, he is completely idle on his water as well. So I think so far it's definitely going in JSS's favor. But Creed's still holding up decently, but okay, I see now. Count is getting a town center. That's why he doesn't have a lot of boats right now. Is anybody else building a town center? No, so just Count. A little bit of boat action here. Yeah, Cyclone still having very poor fishing. Still doing a lot of raids though. The raids seem like they're actually doing some work. And this is just such a stalemate here. Problem is, as soon as Chef pushes down to here, he just has to retreat because of the 3 docks right next to each other. So he'll have to go back. And just Cyclone needs to pay attention to his boats. Needs to run them. He's in a bad spot here, but he's not noticed, and oh man, he loses quite a bit of his boats before. Whew. The one thing with boats is that you can never sail fast enough to dodge boat arrows, so it's not like you can kite back and forth and dodge arrows. The only thing you can really do is retreat. So like if you see like this boat was the one being targeted, so he pulled it back, which then forces all these boats to move without fighting. That's kind of what boat micro is all about. And now we aren't really seeing a ton of it right now. Cyclone, yeah, Cyclone just has no boats now, and he is way behind everywhere in score. He doesn't have any sort of navy. His problem was he just got pushed off of water so quickly. He has not been fishing really for much of this game at all. And this is a pretty heavy fight here. Really, Sun Tzu needs to go back just a little bit. And the insta-killed on the boat with your Carnivora. And yeah, why he was fighting here for so long when he could go back here and be in the arrow fight as well. Yeah, there's boat micro it's a little bit tough to do efficiently. There's a little bit of guesswork sometimes where you'll try to anticipate once you pull one boat back what the next boat will be that'll be targeted. So there is some back and forth with that. I think what you see with boat micro is that you kind of realize that most AOM players don't really have good micro, so most boat players' boat micro, when you watch them, isn't very good. But yeah, to use the flash HP damage is very important as well. If you don't have that, you need to get it. But still, even with that, a lot of players are just not fast enough to efficiently do it. Count, though, is getting town centers. He is getting... No, I don't have a problem. It's built into the game. The only problem is they just didn't make it default. Count is getting 3 town centers. We see Miracle Man already has 3, and Chef is building 3 as well, whereas the only person that has an additional one is, well, the only person on SOEE that has one is Tuss Revenge. Docs can't shoot in the extended edition. I think, yeah, I think they do. Pretty sure they do. They might not be able to shoot at Carnivora though, but they do shoot on the extended edition. Yeah, water battles. It takes it kind of takes a special mind to enjoy it. I don't mind water battles as long as there's good micro. But if there's not good micro, it's kind of just like cramming units at each other until eventually one side overpowers the other. And yeah, Multi-Wise Man, who is a very wise man, confirms that I am also a wise man and says that docs do shoot on the extended edition. You might be thinking of the original Age of Mythology, not Titan's expansion. The docs do not shoot. And there was that tournament, the Hybrid Cup, when it was played, used the original rules. So not quite good enough. And in the Hybrid Cup, there was no shooting docs either. So on Medit, when you lose water, it's pretty hard to come back, especially when you lose water fairly easily, which after about 6 minutes of fighting, and really for most of that time anyway, SOEE was on defensive. It's hard to keep up, because what that means is that JSS can get 3 town centers and afford to do a 3 town center boom because of all the food income they get from boats, whereas SOEE really can't afford to do 3 town centers and make land army all at the same time, so they'll be slower to advance. But right now, yeah, just be careful with the units. This actually is a good fight for Cyclone as long as he keeps fighting it. And yeah, get those Termas shooting at the Toxotes. So 1 Toxotes down, and we'll get another down. I don't know why Count is fighting this. This is a terrible fight for him. Like, he is losing units like crazy here. So really, the only way that SOEE can get back into this is if they delay and delay and delay, which in some medits that is possible to do depending on your god composition. Like Egyptian are really good at delaying, but Oranos not so much, and especially the fact that you will eventually see a couple, well, 1 underworld, which can then just completely make a front here. That'll change things. And we do see Cyclone with a little bit of a raid back here, trying to does finally pick off that. Hey, Janino! Good to see you along, saying I'm the king. And actually, SOEE is kind of on the offensive a little bit, at least holding up pretty well. But, I mean, it's just so hard to maintain that for long. What kind of eco upgrades we got? Okay. Yeah, pretty good for the Gaia. Chef's kind of struggling. Not too good for Sun Tzu. Okay for Supernova, and Cyclone is alright. But here's the problem when you're Oranos is, how are you really ever going to push through this? I mean, what are you going to do? You don't really have that great of siege. So even if you have kind of the advantage here, I mean, you really can't push past this. Cyclone is up Thea. He's actually not in a bad spot right now as far as what happened to him on water, because he was pushed off water pretty much right away. Seems like, okay, so here is Miracle Man. He is over here fighting, and has actually a lot of idle army here. Shared research tax. That'd be interesting. What would be interesting is if, like, you start mixing up God Power Pass and maybe like say you give Egyptian god powers or gods to Norse or stuff like that, and just kind of be interesting to see how the game would play like that, which actually with mods would be pretty easy to do. But double fortress. Sun Tzu's a little bit forward here with his army, and they're paying the price. And yeah, he lost a ton of units just kind of bravely running up here underneath. 2 fortresses, Toxotes, and Shockwave used over here. The one thing though is Count is kind of holding 2-on-1 over here. And the question is, will Sun Tzu be able to hold 2-on-1? And Miracle Man is up Hikate. The one bad thing about Gaia is Gaia does not get... What is it? Not Atlas. Is Atlas the one that does Vortex? I always forget. Whichever one gets Vortex, Gaia does not get, and that hurts quite a bit. Yeah, Miracle Man, he's on the left, he's on the right. Helios, that's what I'm thinking of. Thank you. Anytime I'm incorrect, everybody, the people that haven't even said anything in the chat yet, Panther and Madeira, haven't said anything in the chat, then when I say something wrong, you gotta correct me. Thanks, guys. Thanks for lurking all night and then calling me out. Well, it is Helios. Thank you for the confirmation. Helios. And Gaia does suffer from that late game because Vortex is huge, especially on a map like Medit. And then Vortex... I don't really care. I'm not calling you guys out. Well, I did, but it's all in play. I don't mind. I just thought it was kind of funny. Mirror towers. Mirror towers are so bad. I don't know why anybody ever builds them. But what Helios also gives is some really solid siege technologies, which make fire siphons do the highest siege damage in the game, except maybe for Sekhmet catapults, but they might even be higher than that. Yeah, mirror towers look cool, but they're really bad. And there was a Tartarian, well, there is a Tartarian gate completely causing mayhem in Sun Tzu's base. And Sun Tzu is just way behind, and he doesn't have much help from Supernova. And yeah, these 4 fire siphons are gonna just completely roll over Sun Tzu's base, well, the forward base. And then there's also no, mirror towers aren't. Mirror towers do pierce damage, so they aren't good against siege. Mirror towers just are kind of overall suckage. Mirror towers do get bonus damage versus myth units. That is true. But they're also very expensive. They're more expensive than normal towers, and they don't get crenellations. But yeah, this game is over. It is a GG. But how often, though, Karako, do you run into the point where you are at your maximum normal towers and you can now use mirror towers? Because normal towers are always better. And that is GG. You max out towers every game. You must get in games that I don't normally play in. So that was GG. JSS always been really good on Medit, and that continued here in game 1 of the season. So that is game 1, and we will move on to game 2. So JSS 1. Will SOEE redeem themselves? Game 2. Or not. But yeah, Miracle Man played really well. And I like Gaia on Medit. Gaia on Medit is a solid pick. I feel like Gaia Medit is overall better than Oranos. Not quite as good late game, but early on, Gaia is better than Medit, or Gaia is better than Oranos on Medit. So GG. So we will go on to the last game. Hopefully it's close. So far tonight I've done 4 games into the 5th, and I haven't really had like a close match yet. So maybe we'll see a nice close match. Oops. Let's not watch the same game. Nice close match on Tundra, and I would assume this is SOEE's map. Alrighty, so on the top right is SOEE. So we've got Mr. Tuss Revenge, Aranos, we've got Supernova, Aranos, and we've got Sun Tzu as Loki. On the bottom is Count Von Count is Loki. Miracle Man is Aranos, and Chef is Zeus. It's actually not a spoiler, Mato Mitev, however you properly say it. Yes, I know Tuss Revenge is Cyclone. In RTS League, these games are always just 2-game series until the playoffs. In group stage, every clan plays every other clan in their division twice. It's a 2-game match, so you get 3 points for a win. And technically 1 for a loss if it's really worth it. But so all of these games or series will be 2 games until we get to the playoffs. So knowing this is the last game, it isn't a spoiler. Alrighty, it could end up as a 1-1 split. You don't understand. What don't you understand? Oh, why you show this clip? Okay. So with Aranos Loki, we've got a lot of early aggression on SOEE's chat. SOE's chat. What in the world? I'm busy reading my chat and I don't understand what's really so awesome. But SOEE with double Aranos Loki, they are really going to need early aggression. And what they do get with Aranos Loki is a lot of speed. And if they can have good teamwork, they can double, triple, get really good double raids in. So it's really important for them to have that good teamwork. Whereas if they play it kind of individually, the speed doesn't come into much of an effect. And I would think with a Loki, Aranos, Zeus, they should be able to put the aggression on. Zeus on Tundra probably won't be quite so aggressive early. Maybe we'll go up with Hermes for Centaurs, but those are a little bit delayed, and Aranos and Loki actually deal pretty well with Centaurs. So don't know if you probably will go Hermes, just so that they have a ceasefire for flaming weapons. But you won't see, unlike earlier when we had the ceasefire against, or not the ceasefire, when you had the Centaurs against the 2 Norse, they won't do nearly as much damage this game. What kind of relics we got here? Thunder human soldiers more resistant to pierce attacks? That's pretty decent. Greatly increase house or manor hit points. Yeah, it's okay. Shipper fingernails, more food brings in. Ooh, caravans are cheaper and move faster. A phenomenal late game relic. On the other hand, for JSS, what will we see them do? You'll see the Loki make Hersier. You'll see the Aranos do normal things, and yeah, I think we'll see the Zeus go up with Hermes. So yeah, trying to go back to a comment in the chat. These are not best of 3s, just 2-game series. Each one of these is just a 2-game match. It's like pool play or group stage. We're at the end of the regular season, which is 6 matches, so 12 games. The 3 clans with the most points in each division will advance. And this is week 1, so we've got a long way to go. We are just starting out. I did the other batch of 3 week 1 games last week, and then this is the final batch of week 1. And then we'll have week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6 later on. But there will be a delay because I'll be gone for about 10 days. But about this game. It's Tundra, High Hunt, yields to even more aggression. So this will be pretty nice map. Unlike Medit, which you get your boat battles, which most people find a little bit boring. We'll see. This will be a pretty exciting game, I think, and really will come down to the team game or teamwork. So we'll see. Gotta be careful though. In a game like this where it's going to be so aggressive, is that you don't have forward vills in a place that they can get attacked. Like Chef is up here hunting for now. They won't be able to stay here very long. He might end up stopping once he gets to this last Auroch. I keep forgetting to get rid of all the chat. Barracks, counter barracks, yep. Barracks, counter barracks, yep. Barracks, counter barracks, yep. And Hersier, Hersier. And Hersier, Hersier. And Chef did go up with Hermes, but ooh. Okay, he's not spamming centaurs. And okay, so he is having to run back. 2 little Prometheans. They might get a kill. Oh. I would just keep the aggression here. I think if he would have kept attacking, he would have gotten a Vil kill there. Guess he really valued saving his Promethean, which, alright, I guess. Our first Valor used down here. And next up there. And Teal already used his Valor on Oracles. Kind of interesting. Alright, our first little battle here. Hersier versus Hersier. Let's see what's going on. And so far nobody's been able to save anything. It looks like it was 2 Hersier dead for Sun Tzu and 1 for Count. You will... Uh-oh. Watch out, Count. Okay, there you go. So they'll use, both 3 of them then will use their healing screens defensive and try to heal up any injured Hersier. Do we have spies used? Where is Count Spy? It doesn't look like he used it. I like to use, in these kind of games, use spy on an enemy military group. Sun Tzu didn't use spy either. Like, I would, if I were Count, I would use spy on the enemy raiding Hersier to know where they're at. And okay, now we did have a spy. So actually, Sun Tzu did use spy on our Hersier down here. We've got another fight here. Looking pretty good for a Count. Oh, we did get the Iron Jar spawn and another spawn. Yeah, so far Count doing okay. Actually, we got a few more units coming in on the Sun Tzu, but Count has the numbers here. As long as he keeps them up. Usually Defender gets a little advantage, and yeah, now we have the Hersier running back. Have we seen much action up here? Looks like Cyclone is getting in some raids on Chef. I feel like Chef probably could have afforded to do Centaurs. I'm kind of surprised he didn't. Oh, the hammer swinging is a thing of beauty. It is nice to have. I enjoy the Loki v Loki battles. And okay, we'll pick off and do some damage to this hero. What's this relic back here? Ooh, increases Vil hit points. It's actually not bad in a raiding game. Do we have any Vils that are out? Ooh, a little of a raid here, but actually Cyclone already has anticipated this and has some units coming back. Cyclone just has to be careful not to lose a Vil, which doesn't look like he will. And man, look at these Vils turning around and fighting. Supernova is helping out his buddy here. And oh, bit of a raid down here, pushing back the hunt. Nice little raid by Count. Kind of forward, very optimistic placement of the Vils. And, oh man, 1 shot left on the Vil and did not take it. Oof. And Sun Tzu is trying to get through this wall here. The wall will probably protect the Vils long enough for the Hersier. I don't think it's quite 1 HP, but it's 1 hit. No, it's got a little sliver. It's probably like 3 or 4. But yeah, walls are good. We see Count, or Chef has pretty much walled off his entire base down here. But Cyclone did bash through. So far, though, this is not a good fight for Sun Tzu. Yeah, he needs to retreat. Okay, Shockwave on Supernova, who's helping out. Mostly so far, it's kind of been a 2-on-2 on this side. And then a 1-on-1 on this side. And this is a nice little catch here. Does Cyclone have Shockwave? He does. Oh, I would think he would maybe have stayed and done a Shockwave, but not quite enough army, I guess, to keep that town center down. But I feel like he should have stayed here and Shockwaved these units, and then he could have killed maybe a few more. But it's easy to watch and say what should be done. And yeah, so Count walled, but Sun didn't. It's always good to wall. I mean, just have one unit wall. I mean, walls are pretty cheap, and they get a lot of value out of them. Oh, is he going to stop this town center? Oh, he does. Just got it in time. Did have the spy on there to know it was built, but that's big. Wow, that was at like 98%, and it is stopped. That hurts. Ouch. No vills killed, but that's a long time that they wasted building that. This is a very bold town center grab up here. We do actually have Miracle and Chef both at 2 town centers. And just Cyclone at 2. Sun Tzu does not, so Sun Tzu is a little bit behind. It's counting, actually a lot behind so far. He took quite a few early bad battles. Lost some units, had his hunt raided, so he's actually quite a bit behind at this point. Kind of a bit surprised that Count took a second town center. A lot of times what you'll see is just a low-key pushing to heroic to get that flaming weapons surge. And now we do see Miracle Man is now, I think this is kind of the first raid Miracle is doing. Yeah, you see Cyclone just keeps being busy on the back and just running units around and around. A little raid here. So let's see what damage this big army can do. And oh, so Supernova kind of gets a little revenge and will stop this town center. And that will actually force Miracle Man to retreat. So Miracle Man sends his army all the way up here and then just has to retreat back so he can build his town center. And we have a few Herseers showing up as well. So, and Chef has pretty much been just forced into his base all game, just due to Cyclone's good raids. And Supernova does need to be careful. Yeah. Where's Blue's army? Okay, right here. So we're having some more Herseer v. Herseer fights, and Count maybe a little bit on the rough end of this. Oh, Count kind of mismanaging his units here, though. Getting a lot extra damage in right there. And we have hunting here. And Count now is up. So I don't know why, if with him advancing, Chef is Zeus. With him advancing so close to that fight, I'm not sure why he fought that. Because now that he's getting flaming weapons, he's going to want to get his army to full pop so he can get full advantage of his flaming weapons. So typically you kind of want to avoid any fight that's going to result in you losing a Herseer. And so, yeah, a little bit of a raid here if he notices. And Miracle, with him putting his army back, did now get back possession of that town center, and they got control of this map here. And Supernova tried to forward build actually pretty far forward here. Is getting his armory built, which means he's probably aging up soon. But very far forward vills. He'll be able to defend this. And another fight here, which is actually another good fight for Sun Tzu. But even though he's so far behind, I think now Count is kind of taking some bad battles. Like, this is not a good fight. He's clearly outnumbered. And it looks like Chef has now cleaned up Cyclone's raids, but Cyclone is, you can compare the scores, it's decently ahead, but I'm kind of surprised does not have a third town center yet. Miracle's got 3, and Supernova's got 3. Sun Tzu just 1, and Count just 1. Typical Loki upgrades. Supernova just the first line. Cyclone okay. Shockwave here. This is, you know, winning fight for sight or for Miracle. Okay, kind of shocked most of the units away though. Kind of helped in their retreat. And some little fights here. Like, I'm kind of surprised with all of the map advantage that Cyclone had for so long that he never grabbed his forward town center. And it could come to a point where he might kind of struggle to get it. Especially with Miracle having a kind of a proxy base here, or Miracle, if he needs to, can come up here and prevent this. So, you have a raid here. Won't probably kill any citizens. Sun Tzu will have to run because he's got Miracle Man defensive. But one thing I've noticed so far in this game is that SOEE has dictated the pace of the game and have been on the aggression for pretty much the whole game. There was just this kind of one raid here and then briefly this one raid down here by count. But other than that, SOEE has been on the aggressive, or on the aggression. And Sun Tzu's still not up. Interesting. But this is, I mean, nice, another nice raid here. Like, Count kind of got his 2 town centers and aged up quicker, but is now like way behind in army numbers. To the point where I don't, like, what has he been spending his resources on? Like, he does not have an army. And yeah, this is going to force a defensive flaming weapons. And yeah, Sun Tzu just smartly retreating. And that's basically that aggression just completely wasted flaming weapons. And now we have a big fight here in the middle. Atlantean via Atlantean, and Miracle is a few too many Terma. He will fall back and will now probably end up having to move his gold mining operation here. And Chef coming in over here to do a kind of a back attack. Yeah, I think just keep retreating though, Mr. Sun Tzu. Wait until that flaming weapons ends. I mean, who cares if they kill a building or two? Interesting. Okay, that shockwave might... No, that's town center still going down. It will go down. All right, so town center down. A little town center raid by Mr. Chef. And didn't really lose too many units for that. Though now I think he should run. This isn't worth it, him fighting here. He's, yeah. Now get your little brave hoplites out of there. And Cyclone's still at just 2 town centers. And, like, Chef is at 3. Even though Chef was, like, defensive all game, he's the one at 3. And Cyclone's stuck at 2. And now we see Sun Tzu. He still has flaming weapons. And he has a much larger army, even though like he's down in score, like as far as actual he didn't need to use flaming weapons there. Like, he's got such an advantage in army, he should not have used flaming weapons. I think he, well, I mean, he is up, but he could have, aging up in a Loki v Loki doesn't provide a huge benefit. It does get a little bit of extra attack for your Herseer, but yeah, I wouldn't have used flaming weapons there. It was already a winning battle. And we have the Nidhogg being used, but it's kind of, there's a ceasefire right now, so I think you'd kind of wait to use Nidhogg till after. But he should move his Vils here. I would think he'd notice. I mean, Cyclone's here to help defend, but maybe he's waiting until like as long as he can before he moves. What kind of armory upgrades do we have? That's very important in Loki v Loki. And oh man, Count is down in armory, and Chef did take the 4th. Okay. Chef doesn't have a huge eco though, and he's still only age 3, so it's still gonna. Well, now he's almost age 3. And red is here as well, so Sun Tzu needs to run. And, oh man, he did not run his villas despite knowing this was coming this entire time. So this is kind of disaster on both fronts here. Like, Sun Tzu is throwing away his army on the bottom, fighting 2, and throwing away his gold production up here. But doing nothing. So, Sun Tzu kind of on both ends of the map, kind of threw everything away. Haha, Cyclone with a Titan. He always did that back in the olden days. He was the... always built quick Titans, but... wow, Sun Tzu really misplayed both ends here. I mean, he kept his villagers here the entire time of ceasefire. Even though there was the Nidhogg sitting on top, and now he's gonna have more problems here. He has no response. A nice little proxy build here from Count. Like, just these two this fight and this raid, just completely changed the entire status of Sun Tzu versus Count von Count. And we do have Chef up here, and oh, we have a Vortex on the Titan gates. Oh, this should be enough to kill it because there is no army to respawn anywhere. And we've got the Hoplites with the attack bonus. We have the Hika Gigantes, which does huge amounts of crush damage. This Titan gate will probably go down. Well, it might not. There was a curse somebody used to... no, it's the Lamp Hades. The problem was the Hika Gigantes was never able to get on the Titan gate. And that's a ton of attack there, so... we have citizens dying, but... you can still stay up. I thought that would do more damage there. So the Titan gate lives. And Count is taking a third town center now. And Sun Tzu is in a really rough spot. I like how this Herseer is repairing the farm. And Count is also taking this town center, so he's trying for 4 town centers. And Sun Tzu is going to have some huge problems coming up quick. Especially if he loses this town center, which it looks like he will. Yeah. And some aggression down here, though. That Herseer, well, he didn't even repair that farm either. But yeah, so Sun Tzu is down to with 1 town center, and he doesn't have much eco right now. This town center is prevented. That's pretty important. Though Sun Tzu is on the counter kind of up here. Kind of surprised Count doesn't have any military to defend this. How is Count looking for... this is it. He just has no eco right now. Because with him aging up so much, he really probably doesn't have a huge villager count. And so now we have a Titan out. So the Titan should be able to allow Cyclone to get this town center. And we do have this town center also fell. Oh, we got all these... was that a second Vortex I missed from Miracle Man? Yeah, so Miracle Man used a second Vortex up here with all of these destroyers. And then we've got Chef coming up with his Hoplite. So this is actually some pretty good teamwork right now from JSS. And Supernova is losing a ton of citizens here. The sweet sound of citizen death. And the Nidhogg is trying to finish off the town center. But Supernova is at 0 town centers. And actually, I noticed he was aging up. He did not get that age up. He was going age 4, but he got his town center killed before he was able to get it up. No, I don't think he's gonna... no, he won't get to town center. He needs to, yeah, get out of there. Jeez. Yeah, Supernova's in... well, he's got a decent army. And Count, like, let's what number, what color is 4 is, dang it. 6 colors, 6 and blue, 115, 115 to 122 of 160. So actually the two Lokis aren't terribly apart, just that as far as numbers right now, oh man, you don't want a Nidhogg versus Fire Giants. It doesn't go very well. I'm kind of surprised that Sun Tzu is focusing on this right now and not getting rid of this side base, because as long as this side base exists, Sun Tzu cannot build his town center. He probably should have cleaned this up first and then come down here. And he probably will kill this town center, but I mean at the expense of giving up his own town center. Still did not grab that one though. So this Titan, the problem is Titan by himself though, it's just not doing much, and these destroyers and hoplites running around even killed this town center too. This brigade of hoplites is just causing mayhem. Fire Giant, you know, he might not kill this town center. We got the Nidhogg fight facing off versus Nidhogg here. I want to see a Nidhogg v Nidhogg fight. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, this Nidhogg killing the Oxcar. Okay, now there we go. Breathing kind of fire on each other. Now, okay. Oh wow, he is gonna save that. Sun Tzu actually coming back nicely. So far. I'm actually surprised that he's still getting all of this pressure. I wonder if he's got tributed resources. That wouldn't actually surprise me if he did. But this town center stays just up. And the Titan up here. Where is Cyclone's army? I think he was having to defend against all of these hoplites that were causing mayhem. And actually we see the dead destroyer here. So Cyclone actually had no town centers, and that's why he has no army, is because he had no pop. Mr. Titan taking all of it. Titan is targeting down Bellerophon, which is good actually. Bellerophon does a ton of damage, and now Miracle is getting this town center. So still a close game. Oh jeez, another vortex. This is a last vortex here. But actually the Thor Fire Giants and stuff does counter it pretty well. Just depends on if the Herseer come up. But okay, so Teal is here to kind of close this out, and kind of an undervalued vortex here actually. You'll kill one town center, but actually lose a ton of resources. This vortex wasn't of value. And what is he doing with these? Sexy vortex, if you mean not sexy at all, because that vortex sucked. He didn't even kill a town center. Like, he just like stopped. Well, maybe he'll finish it off now. Alright, so he will in the end finish off one town center. Delayed, but does get it. Now, this Titan has been almost... Does he have the Titan upgrade? He does. Or no, he doesn't. He doesn't have the upgrade that makes his units do more damage to the Titan, the Myrmidons. Okay, so at least he did eventually kill that town center. But actually, so far, I'm kind of impressed with how Sun Tzu has been surviving so long. I'm really going to be interested to take a look at economy, and was he treated? He wasn't treated any resources. But yeah, Cyclone running into problems here is that even with a Titan, he still can't even get his forward town center in. He had ample opportunity to do that. Yeah, I know, I always say Gaia's Book of Knowledge is useless. In this case, Myrmidons versus Titans is the only case where it's useful. you just said that. Alright, so the side build is done. And actually, Sun Tzu is on the offensive against Count. This is amazing, but we have some problems here in the middle. Miracle Man is way ahead of Supernova. And Cyclone trying to get this town center. He does now have his town centers both up, both fortified. He is at full pop. Trying to get this stuff downwards. Okay, here's his citizens. He needs to try to start building this thing. Yeah, once the Titan dies, though, you're right. He'll have a little bit of problems, or a lot. So he really needs to get that town center up before the Titan goes down. And uh-oh, now this fight is not looking good for Sun Tzu. He's losing a lot here. He's also way behind on armory. Well, not terrible. I guess he's one line down on armory upgrades now, too. Yeah, we got Bellerophon. He'll finish off the Titan. And we have a Colossus. All this commentary in chat about Victoria. It's amazing where if somebody plays a game online and says they're a girl, how much like drama it causes. Guys, I'm a girl, by the way. Alright, the Titan's dead. Cyclone is going to have some problems. He is going to be 4-2 town centers against a Mythic Age Zeus. Supernova is getting kind of beat down in the middle. Sun Tzu is kind of neutral-ish against Count, although Count has the town center advantage and will go up faster. This chat. I hate to tell it to you, Ertries, but I refuse to. I'm not going to show that clip, man. I'm not going to get into the drama. But that's GG. All right, so the closest game of the night, but it does end up going JSS's way. Really, I think kind of what happened here is that despite having the map control for so long, they being SOEE, like as far as they were on the aggression for so long, they didn't actually really take control of the map. Like Cyclone not ever getting his forward town center really hurt him. Like if he has his forward town center when he gets his Titan out, he probably ends up getting this town center too and gets in a pretty good position. But just without getting that town center, he just kind of screwed himself. And then the Vortex here, and then the raiding group of, I didn't probably follow the raiding brigade of hoplites as much as I could, but at one point the hoplites plus Destroyer Vortex had both of Tusk's Revenge's town centers down and both of Supernova's town centers down. So let's take a look at the post game and actually look at the settlements here, and we can see that at 21:30 for a brief time Supernova was at 0 town centers, and then a couple minutes later Cyclone was again at 0 town centers. And that's just the quicker age ups and then just the Zeus hoplites roaming around the map, because Cyclone stopped putting aggression early. Like you see, they're even behind, even though they had map control, they were kind of behind on town centers. And then we see this huge drop at 22 minutes. They went all the way down to 3 town centers. That is astounding. And Eco, they were pretty substantially behind towards the end of the game. Military units, they were actually pretty even for most of the game. But just at the end of the game, just falling further and further behind. And the fact that it was pretty close, but just well played. Again, I feel like the teamwork, I think somebody mentioned it in the chat, the teamwork from JSS was just a lot better than the teamwork from SOEE. But it still was a fun game to watch. And yeah, Supernova never even got Mythic at all. Looking at Eco, no resource distributed, but I feel like JSS probably could have, or not JSS, SOE probably could have played that a little bit better given their early game. But well played by JSS there. So that is the last game of the night. and ended up as a 2-0 victory. So far, all 6 of the matches in round 1, and that actually is all 6 matches. All 6 matches in round 1 ended up with being 2-0 sweeps. So we will see if round 2 we start getting some 1-to-1 splits or something like that. So I do appreciate all of you guys who watched. I had quite a bit of commentary in the chat, though some of it was kind of on the strange side, but you know what, that's okay. Active chat is better than no chat. So as I have in my Twitch stream, I will be on vacation for about the next 10 days, so it won't be until around July 3rd, July 4th will be probably my next stream, and I'll probably be doing some of the RTS League Week 2 matches when I come back around the 3rd, 4th area. So thanks for watching, guys. How will you be with me how we will be without you for 10 days? Oh my goodness, what a tongue twister. Well, you'll survive. You'll figure out. If you want, though, you're really bored, do remember that I have a YouTube channel, and there are a bunch of old streams on my YouTube. So if you've missed some old tournament streams, old RTS League streams, they're on my YouTube, although Ultra Noob says my YouTube sucks. So well, I appreciate that. At least you said my stream tonight was good. So more police ladies and we will deal somehow. You know what though? What I noticed today, I logged into my email and my phone. My phone got an alert today that somebody tried to reset my Twitch password, and it wasn't me. So somebody tried to hack into my account. What a bunch of jerks. So thanks all for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and I will catch all you guys July 3rd-ish, July 4th-ish, somewhere around there. So in the meantime, have a good couple of weeks. Somebody's saying it was my wife. Maybe she was trying to stream. You know what? Let me go wake her up and ask her. That'll really put things on a good note. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys have a good week and a half. Maybe when I'm bored at night, I might be on I might be on a stream or two. But tomorrow, I can't stream tomorrow. I'm gonna be gone, man. But when you come back in a week and a half, and you will see. I'll do UCA versus TM first. How's that sound? So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good week and a half while I'm gone, and I'll catch you guys later.